Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about major histocompatibility, MHC complexes. What are MHC complexes? We are going to see in detail about MHCs. Okay, in this MHC, first we see how transplant rejection. In this transplant rejection, what happens? Why this transplant rejection occurs? Early attempts to transplant rejection of transplanted tissue was associated with inflammation and lymphocyte infiltration, immune graft rejection. This is happened because of the complementary system, which is major histocompatibility complexes are present on the vertebrae of DNA containing a set of closely linked polymorphic genes that code for cell surface proteins essential for adaptive immune system. This locus got its name because of it was discovered in the study of tissue compatibility upon transplantation. Here we are getting why this name major histocompatibility. Compatibility while studying the histological studies, so this name come that is major tissue while studying tissue graft rejection, this came into the scene. So this name was coined by scientists. Major histocompatibility. Histocompatibility complex is a large locus on vertebrate DNA containing a set of closely linked polymorphic genes that are code for cell surface proteins essential for adaptive immune system. This locus got its name because of its discovered in the study of tissue compatibility upon transplantation. Later studies revealed that the tissue rejection is due to incompatibility and masking of the real function of MHC molecules binding an antigen derived from cell proteins are from pathogen and the antigen presentation on cell surface for recognition by the appropriate T cells. Major histocompatibility molecules mediate interactions of leukocytes, also called white blood cells, which are immune cells, with other leukocytes or with body cells. Here becomes what is major histocompatibility. It came into this name is coined by because while studying the tissue compatibility, so this is called as this name was coined by the scientist. What they will do? Tissue rejection is due to incompatibility, masking the real function of major histocompatibility molecules binding an antigen derived from the cell proteins are from pathogen and antigen presentation on the cell surface for recognition by the appropriate T cells. Okay. MHC molecules mediate interactions of leukocytes, that are nothing but white blood cells, which are immune cells. MHC determines the compatibility of donors for organ transplantation as well as susceptibility to an autoimmune disease via cross-reacting immunization. Autoimmune diseases are like rheumatoid arthritis and serum sickness, systemic lupus erythematosus, glomerular nephritis. These are autoimmune diseases. Major histocompatibility complex determines the compatibility of donors for organ transplantation as well as susceptibility to autoimmune diseases via cross-reacting immunization. Major histocompatibilities determines the compatibility of donors for organ transplant as well as one's susceptibility to an autoimmune disease via cross-reacting. In a cell protein molecules of the host own phenotypes, own phenotypes are of other biological entities are continually synthesized or degraded. Each MSC molecule on the cell surface displays small peptide, molecular fraction of a protein called epitope. Here, once again I repeat, each MHC molecule on the cell surface displays a small peptide molecular fraction of a protein called epitope. The presented antigens, self-antigens prevent an organism's immune system targeting its own cells. Presentation of pathogen-derived proteins results in the elimination of infected cell by the immune system. Diversity of antigen presentation mediated by MHC antigens is attained in at least three ways. First, an organism's MHC repertoire is a polygenic via multiple interacting genes. Second, MHC expression is codominant from both sets of inherited alleles. MHC gene variants are highly polymorphic, diversity varying from organism to organism within a species. Here we have to MHC antigens are attained in at least three ways. What are the three ways? One is organism's MHC repertoire is polygenic, interacting with genes. Second, MHC expression is codominant from both sets of inherited alleles from father and mother. MHC gene variants are highly polymorphic, varying from organism to organism. Sexual selection has been observed in male mice, making mate choices of females with different MHCs and thus demonstrating sexual selection. Emphasis also plays vital role in mate selection. At least for MHC1 presentation, there has been evidence of antigenic peptide splicing, which can combine peptides from different proteins, vastly increasing antigen diversity. Major histocompatibility also plays a vital role in mate selection. Okay, and MSCs are demonstrating at least there has been evidence of antigen peptide splicing, which can combine peptides from different proteins. T cells respond to, here in this diagram, you can see T cells respond to major histocompatibility antigens. How graft rejection occurs, here we can clearly see in this picture. Graft rejection in vivo is mediated by infiltrating T lymphocytes. The in vitro correlate of graft rejection is the mixed lymphocyte reaction. Here you can see responder T cells from an MHC-A mouse. Next, irradiated stimulator cells from an MHC-A mouse. T cell does not respond here. Responder cells from an MHC-A mouse plus irradiated stimulator cells from an major histocompatibility B mouse. T cells respond. Here we are clearly seeing how the T lymphocytes react to different conditions, that is in vivo and in vitro. MHC directs the response of T cells to foreign antigens. Major histocompatibility directs the response of T cells to foreign antigens. Graft rejection is an unnatural immune response. Major histocompatibility complex antigens present foreign antigens to T cells. What they will do, major histocompatibility antigens present these MHC antigens will present the foreign antigens to T lymphocytes. Cells that present the antigen are antigen presenting cells, APCs. APCs are nothing but antigen presenting cells. Here in this diagram we can clearly see this antigen and here response and blocking anti-MHC antibody. Okay, in this diagram you can clearly observe antigen major histocompatibility complex presenting the foreign antigens to T lymphocytes, blocking anti-MHC antibody. Okay. Next, antigen recognition by T cells requires peptide antigens and antigen presenting cells that express MHC molecules. To recognize the antigens by these T cells, it requires peptide antigens and antigen presenting cells that express major histocompatibility molecules. In this diagram, we can see T lymphocyte. So T cells requires peptide antigens. So here we can observe soluble native antigen, cell surface native antigen, soluble peptide of antigens, cell surface peptides of antigen, cell surface peptides of antigen presented by the cells that express. Here we can observe when the major T cells will respond. Already told T2 for the response of T cells it needs major histocompatibility molecules which having antigen presenting cells. Here in this soluble native antigens, no T cell response. Cell surface native antigens, no T cell response. Soluble peptides of antigens, no T cell response. Cell surface peptides of antigens, no T cell response. Cell surface peptides of antigen presented by cells that express MHC antigens. Here we can see T cell response. For the T cells to respond, it needs the antigen presenting cells that express MHC molecules. In this MHC, two classes are there. Major histocompatibility class 1, major histocompatibility class 2. Here we can see in the diagram cell membrane, this is cell membrane, and MHC class 1, here is the peptide binding group, and the second is major histocompatibility class 2, peptide binding group here. Differential distribution of major histocompatibility molecules. How T cells, B cells, macrophages, other antigen presenting cells, thymus epithelium, neutrophils, basophils, hepatocytes, kidney, brain, erythrocytes, how it will react to MHC1 and MHC2. MHC1 and MHC2. In this tabular form, we can observe cell activation affects the level of MHC expression. The pattern of expression reflects the function of MHC molecule. Class 1 is involved in regulation of antiviral immune responses. Class 2 involved in regulation of the cells of the immune system. Anucleate erythrocytes cannot support the virus replication. Hence, no MHC class 1. Some pathogens exploit this for example, this is Plasmodium species. Here, how? Here, class 1 involved in regulation of antiviral immune responses. Class 2 is involved in regulation of the cells of immune system. Immune system cells are nothing but neutrophils, basophils, acidophils, lymphocytes, and in lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, in T lymphocytes again TK cells, those are T killer cells, TC cells, cytotoxic cells, next TH cells, like that. In this, what are the how it is? In T cells, major histocompatibility class 1 is 3. Class 2 will not be involved in this, plus or minus. B cells, 3. Why? Because it elicits the immune response. Here also plus 3. Macrophages, again plus 3. In class 2, these are only 2. Other antigen presenting cells, major histocompatibility class 1 is 3 and class 2 shows same. Thymus epithelium, why? Here we can observe in major histocompatibility complex only 1. Here you can observe 3 because class 2 involves in regulation of the cells of immune system. Neutrophils here in class 1 3, in class 2 nil, in hepatocytes 1, but in class 2 nil. Kidney in class 1 histocompatibility cells 1, in class 2 nil. Kidney 1, in class 2 nil. Brain 1, in class 2 nil. Erythrocytes nil. Overall the structure of, now we will going to see overall the structure of MHC1 molecule. This is cell membrane. It will be having with alpha chain containing alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3. Peptide antigen in a groove form a pair of alpha helices on floor of antiparallel B strands. In B, beta 2 microglobulin and these 12 again in the by seeing the picture itself you can observe that this contains two helices. What are the two helices? Alpha helices and beta. In alpha, it having three subunits: alpha 1, alpha 2, and alpha 3. NHC encoded alpha chain of 43 kilodaltons, alpha chain anchored to the cell membrane here. Here anchored with cell membrane. Peptide antigen in a groove formed from a pair of alpha helix on a floor of antiparallel B strands. Here you can see peptide antigen in a groove formed from a pair of alpha helices on a floor of antiparallel beta strands. Beta 2 microglobulin, 12 kDaltons, non-MHC encoded, non-transmembrane, non-covalently bound to alpha chain. Alpha 3 domain and beta 2 M, I have structural and amino acid sequence homology with immunoglobulin C domain, that is immunoglobulin gene superfamily. Here, alpha 3 and beta 2M have structural amino acid sequence homology with immunoglobulin C domain, that is immunoglobulin gene superfamily. MHC1 class 1 molecule structure. Here you can see alpha chains. Okay, alpha chain, here peptides, here alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. In this beta 2 microglobulin. Okay, these are the chains. And coming to the structures, here you can clearly observe this is beta microglobulin, beta 2 microglobulin. These yellow color are alpha. Okay, coming to structure of major histocompatibility class 1 molecules, alpha 1 and alpha 2 domains form two segmented alpha helix on 8 anti-parallel beta strands. Alpha 1 and alpha 2 domains form two segmented alpha helices on 8 anti-parallel beta strands to form antigen binding cleft. The properties of the inner spaces of the helix and floor of the cleft determines which peptide bind to the MHC molecule. MHC encoded alpha chains. MHC encoded alpha chains of 34K Dalton and a beta chain of 29 kilodaltons, alpha chain and beta chains anchored to the cell membrane. Here we can observe alpha and beta chains anchored to the cell membrane. In class 1, only one, that is alpha is anchored to the cell membrane. But in class 2, we can observe both alpha and beta chains are anchored to the cell membrane. Here, no beta 2 microglobulin. We can see only alpha 1 and alpha 2 and beta 1 and beta 2, but not beta 2 microglobulin. Peptide antigen in a groove, this is the groove. Antigen in a groove formed from a pair of alpha helices on a floor of anti-parallel of beta strands. Okay, alpha 2 and beta 2 domains have structural and amino acid sequence homology with immunoglobulin C domains Ig gene superfamily. Immunoglobulin gene superfamily. MHC2 structures. Here we can see these are blue colored are alpha chains, green colored are beta chains. Okay, cleft is made of both alpha and beta chains. And cleft geometry. In class 1, only blue color, that is alpha chains only form the peptide binding site. The alpha chains only forming the cleft. So it will, here the peptide will join. But in coming to class 2, both alpha and beta, both chains will forming cleft. Here we can observe blue color is alpha and green color is beta. Okay, peptide is held In a peptide is held in the cleft by non-covalent forces. Here we can clearly how the cleft geometry. First we have seen the simple form of the cleft, how the cleft formed by alpha. In class 1 it is formed by alpha chains. In class 2 it is formed by both alpha and beta chains. Next we are going to see how this cleft can. Here we can see alpha chain, blue color one, and here peptide. Okay. In here we can observe beta 2 microglobulin in light color. Here this is about MHC1, that is class 1, major histocompatibility class 1. It can accommodate peptides of 8 to 10 amino acids. Coming to 2, already told, cleft formation in class 2 major histocompatibility complex is by 2. What are the two? One is alpha chain and the second is beta chain. Both. This is beta chain, this color. Okay. And blue color is alpha chain. Both will be forming the cleft. In this, the peptide group cleft, here you can see this peptide. This is the peptide. Okay. MHC class 2 accommodates peptides of 13 amino acid. Class 1 will be accommodating peptides 8 to 10 and class 2 can accommodate peptides of 13 up to 13 amino acids. MHC binding peptides. Each human usually expresses three types of MHC1. Those are A, B, C. And three types of class 2. Those are DR, DB, DQ. We can easily remember class 1 will be A, B, C. And class 3 will be DR, DP, DQ. Okay. The number of different T-cell antigen receptors is estimated to be with nearly 10 billion, each of which may potentially recognize a different peptide antigen. How can 6 variant molecules have the capacity to bind to this billion different peptides? A flexible binding site. We have already discussed cleft after cleft. In the cleft only peptide will be binding. The binding site that is flexible enough to bind to any peptide. Here, no, because at the cell surface such a binding site would be unable to allow high enough binding affinity to form trimolecular complex with T-cell antigen receptor, prevent exchange of peptides with others in extracellular material. A flexible binding site. What is a flexible binding site? A binding site that is flexible at an early intracellular stage of maturation formed by folding the MHC molecules around the peptide. See here, floppy formation, floppy compact. Allows a single type of MHC molecule to bind many different peptides. Bind peptides with high affinity. Form stable complexes at the cell surfaces. You can see stable complexes, cell surface. Export only molecules that have captured to a peptide to the cell surface. First, this is peptide. It allows a single type of MHC molecule to many different peptides to form a stable complex at the cell surface. This is the cell surface. Peptides can be evaluated from MHC molecules, purity stable MHC peptide complexes. In this, we can observe here is the peptide, here and here, 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 acid elute peptides, fractionate and microsequence peptides. Here we can observe. Okay. Elevated peptides from MHC molecules have a different sequences but contain motifs. Peptides bound to a particular type of MHC class 1 molecules have conserved patterns of amino acids. What is a motif? A common sequence in a peptide antigen that binds to MHC molecule is called motif. What are anchor residues? Amino acids common to many peptides tether the peptide to structural features of the MHC molecule's anchor residues. Tethering amino acids need not be identical but must be related to Y and F are aromatic, whereas V, L and I are hydrophobic. These are aromatic. Y, 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 Y. Okay. F, Y, F are aromatic. Here in V, L, I are hydrophobic. Side chains of anchor residues bind to pockets in major histocompatibility molecules. Different types of MHC molecules bind peptides with different patterns of conserved amino acids. We can see peptide binding packets in MHC class 1 molecules. Slices through MHC class 1 molecules when viewed from above reveal deep, well-conserved packets. Here we can see. Okay. Anchor residues and T cell antigen receptors contact residues. Cell surface. This is how it works. Cell surface, MHC class 1 slides between alpha helices and to reveal peptide. Why? Because alpha chains only having the binding site in class 1. Here we can observe. MHC anchor residue side chains point out here. Okay. T cell antigen receptor contact residue side chains point up. Okay. Next, class 1 molecules can bind peptides of different lengths. This is arched peptide, MHC molecule, SYIP, SSAK. It can bind to different bind peptides of different length. Okay, this is one length of the peptide, and this is another one. Complementary anchor residues and pockets provide broad specificity of particular type of MHC molecule for peptides. Peptide sequence between anchors can vary. Number of amino acids between anchors can vary. Peptide antigen binding class 2 molecules. First, here MHC molecules can bind peptides of different length. Okay. Second, class 2. In peptide antigen binding to MHC class 2 molecules are negatively charged and hydrophobic. Anchor residues are not localized at the N and C termini. As what are N and C terminal? we are well versed with carboxylic group terminal or amino group terminal. Ends of the peptides are extended, conformation and may be trimmed. Motifs are less clear than in class 1 binding peptide. Pockets are more permissive. Motifs are less clear here. Peptide binding pockets in class 2. It is not that much deep as in class 1. Slices through MHC class 2 molecules when viewed from above reveal shallow, poorly conserved packets compared with those in MHC molecules. How can 6 variant molecules have the capacity to bind a billion different peptides with high affinity? Adopt a flexible floppy conformation until peptide binds. Fold around the peptide to increase the stability of the complex. Tether the peptide using small number of anchor residues. Allow different sequences between the anchors and different lengths of peptide. MHC molecules targets immune evasion by pathogens. Without T cell, there is no effective immune response. Antigen-specific T cells are activated by peptide major histocompatibility complexes. There is therefore strong selective pressure for pathogens to mutate genes encoding antigens so that they can evade the formation of peptide MHC complexes. There is antigen specific T cells are activated by MHC peptide MHC complexes. There is therefore strong selective pressure for pathogens to mutate genes encoding antigens so that they can evade the formation of peptide MHC complex. The MHC has two strategies to prevent evasion of pathogens. More than one type of MHC molecule in each individual, extensive differences in MHC molecules between the individuals. Example, if the individual having only one kind of MHC, that will be lethal. Here we can observe when the person having only one type of MHC. Here we can see pathogen that evades MHCX. The person dies. Population threatened to extinction. Survival of the individual will be threatened when only one class MHC molecules are present. In opposite, when if each individual will be having two MHC molecules, that is MHCX and MHCY. Here we can see picture clearly depicts pathogen that evades MHCX but has the sequence that bind to MHCY. Here only major histocompatibility XX dies, but it also having MHCYY, then the formation impact on the individual depends upon the genotype. Here we can observe both when the person having both X and Y, he will survive, and he will having only this person also mixed will be surviving, but only XX will be threatening. These will be excess will be threatened or extincted because of these people having only one type of MHC. Each individual could make two MHC molecules, that is MHCX and Y. And the pathogen mutates. Here in the picture we can see First, pathogen that invades MHC X but has sequence that bind to MHC Y until it mutates to evade MHC Y. Pathogens also mutate to survive. Here we can observe one pathogen that evades MHC-X but has sequence that bind to MHC-Y until it mutates to evade MHC-Y. Here we can observe first it will be attacking only person having XX MHC, that will be destroyed, and the second afterwards it gets into MHC YY also. No single any type of MHC's single case will be threatened. It is a threat to the population. But those having both X and Y, then the survival, then the person will be survive. If it, here we can see two types when X and Y are there, immediately it was to after acting on the MHC-X, and this pathogen has to again work on MHC-Y. So this will take time. By that time, T lymphocytes will be destroying that pathogen. So here we can observe because of two classes MHCs, some population threatened with extinction, the number of types of MHC molecule cannot be increased infinitum. Population need to express variants of each type of MHC molecule. Populations of microorganisms reduce faster than humans. Mutations that change MHC binding antigens are in this slide. Your doubts can be clarified. Population of microorganisms reproduce, as I already know, reproduces faster than humans. Mutations that change MHC binding antigens or MHC molecules can only be produced to the population after reproduction. The ability of microorganisms to mutate in order to evade MHC molecules will always outpace counter-evasion measures that involve mutations in the MHC. When two types of MHCs are there, then it is easy to evade, stop the pathogen invasion. The number of types of MHC molecules are limited. To counteract the superior flexibility of pathogens, human populations possess many variants of each type of MHC molecules. To counteract these pathogens will mutate themselves to first survival. But to counteract the superior flexibility of these pathogens, human populations possess many variants of each type of MHC molecules. Variant MHC may not protect every individual from every pathogen. However, the existence of large number of variants means that the population is prevented from extinction. Variant MHC molecules protect the population. Here, pathogen that evaded MHC X and Y but binds to various variant MHC XR and MHC YR. We can see only X, that person dies. Only Y, person dies. Next, XY, only one type of X and Y, then also he dies. But variation in that also, XR and YR. Here you can see XXR survives, YYR also variation is there. So pathogens can't mutate to that. So the person survives. Our population survives because of variant types of MHCs. Here we can see XX dies, XXR live, live. Here also live. In this picture, this is also live. This is also live. But this death. This is also XR, XR. Both same. Variation should be there. To stop the flexibility or invasion of the pathogens, major histocompatibility classes should have variants so that the person can live. Here we can already shown this. Okay. Here, variant MHC molecules protect the population. In every human being, variants of MHCs are there. Here, first we can observe pathogen that evades MHC X and Y but binds to variant of MHC XR and binds to YR. Here, live. Here, live. Okay. Variants alleles of each type of MHC genes encode protection and the resistance of the population from rapidly mutating or newly encountered pathogens without increasing the number of types of MHC molecules. We have already told MHC molecules number are very less. It is due to this, but MHC molecules exhibit various forms. Molecular basis of MHC type. Several polygenism. Several MHC class 1 and class 2 genes encoding different types of MHC molecules with a range of peptide binding specificities. Polymorphism. Variation above 1% or 1 at a single genetic locus is population of individuals. MHC genes are the most polymorphic known. The type and variant of MHC molecules do not vary in the lifetime of the individual. Here is the main point. The type and variant MHC molecules do not vary in the lifetime of the individual. Diversity in MHC molecules exists at the population level. This shortly contrasts the diversity in T and B cells antigen receptors, which are in a constant state of flux within the individual. Okay. Simplified map of human leukocyte antigen. Chromosome 17, you can see class K, class 1, alpha, A, E, B, L, beta chain, alpha, beta, alpha, okay, class 1. Similar organization to human MHC except class 1 gene is translocated relative to human MHC. Two pairs of genes encoding class 2 molecules. No alternative class 2 beta chains. Here again K, M, LMP, pair, A, E, D, L, class 1, class 2, class 3, again class 1. One class, similar organization of to the human MHC, except one class 1 gene is translocated relative to human MHC, two pairs of genes encoding class 2 molecules, no alternative class 2 beta chains. Other genes in the MHC. What are the other genes in the MHC? What are the other genes in the MHC? Encoding MHC class 1 like proteins that associated with beta 2 microglobulin. This is about class 1. HLA human leukocyte antigen G binds to CD94 and natural killer cell receptor. Inhibits NK attack of fetus tumors. HLA, that is human leukocyte antigen E binds to conserved leader peptides from HLA A, B, C interacts with CD94. HLA-F function is unknown, whereas in class 2 genes encoding several antigen processing genes, HLA-DM, alpha and beta, proteasome components LMP 2 and 7 peptide transporters. TAP1 and 2 HLA, do alpha and do beta, many pseudogenes. In class 3, encoding complement proteins C4A, C4B, C2, factor B, tumor necrosis factor, and tumor necrosis factors alpha and beta. Immunologically irrelevant genes. Genes encoding 21 hydroxylase, RNA helicase, casein kinase, heat shock protein 70, sialidase. Polymorphism in MHC class 1 genes. Variation 1% in single genetic locus of population of individuals in the human population over 1300 MHC class 1 alleles have been identified. Some are null alleles. Synonyms are differ in regions outside the coding region. Here we can observe number of polymorphism in class 1. Okay. Coming to class 2. Before slide, this is class 1. Here, number of polymorphism 8396, B3, 699, C, G, 2, and G. Okay. Data from www.anthony.org. Polymorphism in MHC2. Over 700 human MHC class 2 alleles have been identified. Some are null alleles. Synonyms are different regions outside the coding region. In class 2, we can number of polymorphisms we can observe in this figure: DR, DQ, DP, DM, and DO. How DR, DQ, and DP, DM, DO. This is the slide. Class 2, total 733 alleles, 668 in October 2003, 492 in July 2000. This is the data. Because MHC classes, mutations, diversity of MHC molecules that can be identified by antibodies serologically is considerably fewer than DNA sequencing. Number of serologically defined antigens. In a graphical representation, we can observe class 1 and class 2. We have already told if this is in class 1 ABC, but in class 2 we are DQ, DP factors. Yellow color are class 1, white color are class 2. Class 1 can bind to 100 antigens. Class 2 can bind to 40 antigens. MHC allele A and MHC allele B. Okay. Changes in the pockets, walls, load of peptide binding, cleft alter the peptide MHC interactions and determine which peptides bind. Here we all know MHC class 1 having alpha chain having the peptide binding site. But in class 2 it will be having by the combination of both alpha and beta chains. While changes in the packets, walls, floor of the peptides, binding cleft alter the peptide MHC interactions which peptides bind. Okay, here we can observe. Okay, MHC allele A. Here MHC allele B. Replacement and substitutions occur at a higher frequency of suggests that selective pressures may operate on MHC polymorphism. Evolution of pathogens to evade MHC mediated antigen presentation. Evolution of MHC to eliminate pathogens. Here we can see how the evolution of pathogens to evade MHC. One side pathogens to evade MHC mediated antigen presentation. 60% of the individuals in Southeast China, Papua New Guinea, express HLA-A11. HLA-A11 binds to an important peptide of Epstein-Barr virus. Many EBV isolates from these areas have mutated this peptide so that it cannot bind to HLA-A11 MHC molecule. Evolution of MHC to eliminate pathogens. Each individual will be having different combinations distributed in population. Any of the 1200 alleles could be present with any other allele. In reality, MH alleles are not randomly distributed in the population. Alleles segregate with lineage and race. Here we can see HLA A1, A2, A3, A28, A36 ratio in Caribbean, in Africa. You can see molecular basis of transplant rejection, MHCA, MHCB and MHCC. Okay. Normal peptide recognition, indirect peptide recognition, Transplant rejection occurs as a result of anti major histocompatibility immune responses. The major histocompatibility complex was discovered using inbred strains of mice. Thank you.